So, what's up, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I was asked not too long ago, what I thought about the Eddie Murphy monologue in which he talked about Bill Cosby. And I would say this, I'll admit when he made the joke about Cosby, which I didn't think was that bad, it actually surprised me a little bit. I go into more detail about it on drboycetv.com if you want to go watch my detailed analysis, my detailed breakdown. The joke wasn't that bad, but it did surprise me. Because I kind of thought that there would be some sort of solidarity amongst comedians or solidarity amongst black men to not make light of a very serious situation. Here's the deal. I know the history of Eddie Murphy and Bill Cosby. I still remember when Cosby wasn't the nicest toward Murphy, and I understand that. But the challenge that I have with this is that, first of all, Eddie didn't have to make that joke. I think Eddie's return to SNL could have been great without, throwing salt on the wound. I see Bill Cosby's situation as a lynching. I see it as a lynching in the same tradition as how Black Wall Street got burned down because somebody thought that a black man touched a white woman. Bill Cosby's in prison with no evidence. Say what you want, point to whatever accuser you want. But there's no evidence, and there's no evidence that he did that one particular thing that he's supposed to have been convicted of, touching that lady's breast. And it kind of really speaks to that tradition of some people believing black men deserve the death penalty for touching a white woman, that they really believe that they should die in prison the way Cosby might. I mean, Cosby's in his 80s. If he's in prison for that whole 10 years, the chances of him coming out, are pretty low. And if he does come out, he's going to be, over 90 years old. So quality of life has declined significantly. So I think that what bothered me about Eddie's joke was not so much that he didn't have the right to make it. I think he had the right to make it. It wasn't that bad. It was kind of funny. It was ironic, But I think that what bothers me is the seriousness of what happened to Cosby. This man was lynched. This was a situation where white folks decided to change the rules. Because remember, they weren't even supposed to prosecute that case. Cosby paid the $3 million or whatever to that lady for touching her boob. I don't honestly understand where there's no proof why you would have to pay $3 million. It just doesn't make any sense, right? If you prove things, that's another thing. But when there's no proof, then anybody can say anything. I can make an accusation about you right now. And if I could get $3 million for making an accusation, that would be a pretty good life for me. I could go have $3 million in my bank account. That's pretty cool, right? And so, the Cosby situation it's a life or death situation. It's not a joke. It's not a game. And I think as black men also, when Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and all these other guys are standing up there next to Murphy, giving the appearance of co-signing on what Murphy just said about Cosby, it almost was like Massa's way. It was like the master's way of saying, look at all the Negroes I have that are now, that are holding it down for me. I got my whole army of powerful Negroes right in front of you, Bill. And even though you used to be the man at NBC, it's clear you ain't the man no more. And it's clear that we calling the shots. And it's clear that we've done a checkmate, motherfucker. Like that, to me, was the signal that I was seeing from all this. And I tend to be deeper, I think more deeply about things than some people do. So maybe nobody else, they just see it as a joke. On a show like SNL, there's no such thing as just a joke. They're very smart people. They're very calculated, strategic people. And if you even pay attention to shows like 30 Rock, with Tracy Morgan's on that show, who I honestly don't think is that funny, to be honest. He's the one up there that I just didn't. He never makes me laugh. If he's on the show, I literally don't want to watch it because I don't think he's that funny. The other guys I think are hilarious. And, but they've been making jokes about Cosby, little digs at Cosby for quite a while, for about a decade now. And so it tells me that there's some beef, there's some bad blood with Cosby and NBC. And I think Eddie could have just kind of stayed out of it. Because here's the thing, if they going after Cosby and they take him down just like that, you're next. You're next. Like these guys, like Chappelle's on thin ice, right? Because he did the Netflix special. All it takes is one accusation, and next thing you know, they're dragging him through the media. They do this to black men on a regular basis. They did it to Terrell Owens when he played football. They did it to Tiger Woods when that white woman beat him upside the head with a golf club, tried to murder him, and he ends up apologizing to her. How are you apologizing to somebody who tried to kill you? O.J. Simpson, who gets acquitted and they treat him like a criminal. Like, this is a consistent pattern of treatment toward the black male. And I think that Eddie and those other guys should be sensitive to that, because, again, if they did it to Cosby, they can easily do it to you. And I know all those guys, followed all those guys' careers very closely, except for Keenan, who I think is on the lower scale in terms of talent. But Chris, Eddie, and Dave, I followed their careers very closely. And believe me, if they wanted to, take any situations they've been in and paint them in an unfavorable light and ruin them and maybe get them prosecuted, it wouldn't be hard to do. It wouldn't be hard to do. So you got to be careful about doing the master's dirty work, because the master don't care about none of y'all, and I think that's the part that I wish these brothers understood, because I think that whole Cosby joke could have just been left out and they could have just had a good time and it would have been what it was, but this man's dying in prison, and I don't care, what kind of an asshole he might have been at certain times. I don't think he was all bad. I just don't believe that. He gave more money to HBCUs than anybody in history. The Cosby Show was not just brilliant, but it was also very impactful. A Different World increased HBCU enrollment, by leaps and droves. So, I'm not throwing Cosby out, with the bathwater. I'm just not. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. I said, if you want to see more of my detailed conversation on it, feel free to go to drboycetv.com. That's drboycetv.com. And I want to say I wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. I wish you a happy holiday. And also, I want to encourage you to buy your children shares of stock for Christmas. Remember, a toy will last for a few months, but if you buy them assets on the holidays, every birthday, maybe once a month, then that's going to last. That's going to make them happy for the next 40 years. So do something good for your kids. Make them wealthy. Put them on the pathway to success. Don't put them on the pathway to Negro misery. Because that's intergenerational transfer, and I don't want to transfer that to children. I want them to be happy. I want them to be better than we were. So feel free to check that out. And we actually do have a kids program in the Black Business School if you ever want to check it out. It's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com, because you guys know I'm a finance professor, and that's what I do. So I'm out of here, guys. Take care. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Peace.